Hey, Battalion Nation.
We have a live show on location.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We're going to have trouble getting 2 points.
Brought to you by Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad Beverages. Hey, Battalion Nation, we are at the Clubhouse by Gateway Golf, and we've hit a milestone, episode 10 for Troops Trio. Our guest today is Ethan Procyszyn, brought to you by Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad. And right now, we head to our host. We got Matthew, Bob, and Ranjan.
Thank you so much, AJ. And Troops Trio is also proudly sponsored by the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and as AJ said, the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight. We thank our host for not only sponsoring the show, but letting us take over the place for a little while, letting us work on our golf swing before and after the show. And this is where you can work on your golf swing all winter long right here at Gateway Golf. I'm joined as always by Bob Coles and Ranjan Rupal, and we want to thank the viewers as always for watching on the Battalion YouTube page, and we want to thank the listeners for tuning in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Guys, we've got a packed show today. As AJ said, the Captain Ethan Procyszyn will be on here later. We'll hear from Ryan Olahan. We'll hear from Dylan Sika, the general manager of the Sarnia Sting. There's a local connection to Mr. Sika, so we'll get on that a little bit later. And we've also got our Troops Trio trivia question coming up later on in the show. So, guys, let's jump right into it because it is a packed show. Troops went 2-1 on the weekend. First, let's get your thoughts on that. They beat the Petes. They beat the Frontenacs before losing to Ottawa.
Well, I thought good results from the weekend. Tough schedule, 3 games, 3.5 days. Thursday night in Peterborough, they got things going with a win. A really tight, low-scoring game, and I was amazed by the Battalion energy on Friday night because it was a back-to-back. Kingston hadn't played the night before, and they really dominated the game. The score really didn't indicate what a dominating performance it was. And then Sunday, Ottawa's really improved this year, no doubt about it. Second in the Eastern Conference, trying to stay close to Brantford in the East Division, and it was a tight game. It was a 1-goal game midway through the second. Ottawa pulled away a bit at the end, but yeah, pretty good weekend. Anytime you come home from a 3-game road trip in Eastern Ontario with 4 points in your back pocket, that's a good road trip.
Yeah, so that East Division is a little bit of a gamut to try to run through now with Brantford at the top, and we're going to see Brantford pretty soon. I like how North Bay did in Kingston, and you mentioned that, because Kingston's been a bit of a cemetery for the Battalion the last couple of years, going in there and getting pushed around and beaten up by the teams that they've had there, but we showed up really well and good goaltending in the 2 W's.
Yeah, Jack, listen, outstanding on Friday. Mike McIver went 1-1 on the weekend.
Yeah, he did. The Battalion also had to go 11-7 for the entirety of the weekend, and you had a chance to catch up with Ryan Olahan. We're going to switch things up a little bit. We'll hear from Ryan Olahan throughout this segment. So let's hear what the head coach had to say about that, having to play with an extra defenseman and 1 forward short all weekend in the 3 games and how that affected the team. So producer Gerald, can we hear that from head coach Ryan Olahan right now?
He went with 11-7 during the road trip. You had good results, obviously, winning in Peterborough, winning in Kingston, losing on Sunday in Ottawa. I know you got guys out, and maybe that, forces that decision. But is this something long term? Do you play it game by game? How do you approach that in terms of how many forwards, how many D?
Yeah, not ideal. Not always. I don't mind going 11-7 every once in a while, but that's really due to Callie and Pronan being out and our 7D being healthy and able to kind of jump in there. And I thought maybe, does that play into a bit of an effect by the last game of the weekend where your forwards a lot of them have played some kind of big minutes all weekend there. So we're anxious to get some guys back. They are going to take maybe a little bit longer, but it seems like time is flying by for both Pronin and Cali to join us hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, that's the case with that. And an opportunity to, double shift guys that are going and things like that. But I do like 12 and 6 as well.
Yeah, it's so great to hear that, Ryder Cali is, working towards his way back. It's certainly a guy that they would love to have back in that lineup. But in the meantime, they really are getting contributions from everyone all over the roster. The captain Ethan Procyszyn had a couple of goals in those games on the weekend. The newcomer Caden Petrie had a couple of goals, a big weekend for him in his debut with the North Bay Battalion. So it is good to see that the offense and the production is being spread out. Also like the note that Jack Lisson picked up an assist as well on one of the goals. Always great to see the goaltender getting on the score sheet that way. So yeah, in the meantime, without Ryder Cali, the team is still getting those getting production out of everybody on the roster right now.
Well, I want to tell before I talk about that. I decided to call Coach Uli up to my place of business on game nights. That was the PA booth, if you're wondering where we were doing that interview. So it was good to have Coach Houlihan up there talking about it. But I think 11 and 7, everyone's going to buy in, right? Everyone's going to buy in and say, okay, because you're going to be playing with different guys the whole night. 11 forwards mean someone's going to be that 12th guy when that line comes out. And it was Captain Procyszyn and Nick Wellenreiter on that line, and they just plug somebody in throughout the game. And the 7D as well, you're going to get different pairings and different partners. So everyone's going to buy in. It's tough on everybody, but I think you're missing Ryder Cali, you're missing Pronin as well. He didn't play on the road trip, so I think they did a really good job. But obviously, as Coach Houlihan said, best case scenario is you want everyone consistently playing together, and hard to do that with 11 and 7. But I think they did a really good job.
They've run with 11 and 7 for quite a bit of the season. I like 11 and 7. Ryan pointed out the fatigue factor in a third game of a 3 and 3, and that's point taken. I like working Kunapaski into the defensive rotation. He's a 16-year-old defenseman, and he can't be sitting. He's got to be playing because he's going to be a big part of this team going forward, and this is an important development year for him. So that's where the 7D comes. I like when you have a player like Wellenreiter or Procyszyn dropping onto that fourth line because you can exploit the other team's fourth line because, you'll have line matches and whatnot. And especially on the road, it's nice to have a guy like Procyszyn on the fourth line when the other team throws in their top line for a face-off because they have last change. So there's some advantages for sure to having 11 and 7.
But it's a challenge for the coaches too, Matt. I mean, they have to make sure guys get the race time, but at the same time, you don't want to put, just in a bad situation, guys, being put in a bad situation. So, and time on ice becomes important, all those kinds of things. So everyone's going to buy in. It's a big adjustment, but the battalion are handling it pretty well.
Yeah, you mentioned it being a challenge for the coaches. There was a kind of controversial coaches challenge in the game against the Peterborough Petes. I wrote about it in the Bay Today recap about the play where it looked like it was a very clear offside that led to a Pete's goal. What were your thoughts on that play? I know in the long term it doesn't really matter because the battalion went on to win that game, but that tied that game at that point, and it got a lot of people talking about what exactly constitutes as an offside or not an offside. And as far as I can read, until the puck crosses the blue line, you're not allowed to be on the other side of the blue line. Did I read that wrong anywhere, or?
No, I think you got that right. But
Okay.
It was so controversial, Matt, that the Friday night broadcast in Kingston, they were talking about it. So, yeah, it's didn't cost them the game, and that's all that matters. But, it's hard to take the official side on that one.
What I thought the best part of that whole situation was your write-up because it was very, very detailed And it was I read it the few key paragraphs a few times, and I was just trying to visualize what it was.
Yeah.
Where did you you had very little time to put that article up, and you had to do all that research. You had like the NHL rule book beside you.
I Googled the Hockey Canada rule book just to make sure I wasn't missing anything. I rewound the play several times. I think I missed the rest of the period live just so I could actually see that play over and over again. Because from what I saw, the puck, like I said, never crossed the line, and then Matthew Soda went over the line, and then the player that he passed to then brought it in. Some people were saying, though, that because it was on the blue line, your skates are allowed to be over, but that only counts if you're the player that has possession of the puck. You still can't be ahead of your teammate with the puck.
The other X factor is we don't have all the views that the refs and the
That's
linesmen
right.
do, and very often the television feed doesn't have very good sight lines the way the OHL refs do now, and they've really made improvements in the league at all the camera angles that they have access to. It's just whether they can quickly pull it up on the tablet, that's another question.
That's it, exactly. All right, let's move on now. We took the week off last week, and the Battalion certainly didn't. They made some moves off the ice. It was a busy week for the front office. Let's start with the trade for Caden Petrie. Bob, you had the chance again to catch up with head coach Ryan Olahan about that trade. So, producer Gerald, if you can play that for us, here's what head coach Ryan Olahan had to say about that trade.
Ryan, let's talk about the roster additions. Big trade. Let's young Mr. Petrie. You've coached him for 3 games. You got to be pleased with how it's going so far. Caden Petrie acquired from Flint over the little stretch there.
You know what? We kind of had a feeling that he was going to insert quite nicely into our lineup. Been watching him for a long time, even going back to his U16 year with the draft. And just the way, we kind of have an eye on guys that fit our systems, the way we want to play. A lot of the stuff that we want to do goes through our centerman, and he's that type of player. He's often has real good low support. He can really drive through the middle and distribute the puck really well, and we saw that this weekend. Certainly, still getting him accustomed to all the things we do in our systems and getting him, comfortable. I think there's even another level to him, but for sure, good insertion into our lineup.
And Alexander Karmanov. I know they were talking about him on some of these TV broadcasts, although he wasn't playing. When do you anticipate him getting a chance to play?
Well, we'll have to see. We got him quickly last week before we jumped on the road. This is an awesome week for us. We got tons of ice, tons of opportunity to really get him kind of up to speed. It's a lot bigger level than what he was used to with the Junior B. So we want to get him up to speed, get him comfortable, get him, all those things going, and then we'll kind of see. He's been impressive so far. He's an awesome kid. He's going to work at it, and we'll see where he's at. He's, doing some work right now with Billy, and he's going to continue to do that all week here.
So great of head coach Ryan Olahan to catch up with you, Bob, and talking about those 2 moves. So let's start with Petrie. He was traded to Flint for Iggy Pazzi. What were your guys' first thoughts on hearing that news, and then your first impressions as well on Petrie?
Well, we've seen Petrie a few times at the Gardens playing the battalion against the battalion for Flint, and he's always been a guy that, you have to watch very closely. He's a physical player, but he's got a lot of upside, a lot of offensive skill, and it was something that whenever he had the puck on the power play in the battalion zone, he was very dangerous, and you could see that. And he comes in for the battalion for 3 games, and he fit right into their lineup. His style of play is really similar to the 200-foot game the battalion liked to play, so he fit in real well. He was the first star, I think, on Thursday night, and he played well Friday night as well, and on the weekend. And he's got a little edge to his game, too. We saw some of that on Sunday at Ottawa. So, yeah, a good deal. Iggy Pazzi, popular among the fans, but to get a player of his character, Caden Petrie's quality, you have to give up something. The battalion gave up Pazzi, and I think it's a good trade for both teams, and early indications are the battalion are very happy with the Petrie deal.
Yeah, he's a 6th-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's got 4 points through his first 3 games with the North Bay Battalion, so really good start. Ranjan, I'll come over to you for that second piece of news. The battalion, because they traded Iggy Pazzi, that opened up a roster spot for them for another import player, and now they've filled that roster spot with Alexander Karmanov out of Moldova. We heard what Coach Houlihan had to say about it. Let's get your thoughts. You talked about how you liked 11-7. Well, now they're adding Karmanov, who is another defenseman, to the roster. So that means that guys are going to have to figure out a little bit more about, where they fit in within this configuration for the battalion.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. First of all, it's hard to see Iggy Pazzi go. He's a fan favorite in this city for a number of reasons, and just how he electrified the crowd. And I wish him nothing but the best, because he's a kid who deserves. He's hardworking and well liked in the room, and so that was a really big price to pay for Caden Petrie. Petrie, just to go back for a sec, his brother Colson Petrie is with the Anaheim Ducks organization right now, and they are gritty players, like you talked about, players you don't like to play against, certainly in the regular season, and I think a few teams got a taste of that just in the past weekend. But in the playoffs, that's what John Winstanley is thinking about, is the playoffs, and Petrie is a playoff type of player, gritty, gets in the dirty areas, hard to play against. And that's battalion hockey. When you think about the last 12 years, that's what battalion hockey is. It's just a team that you don't want to play against, especially in this building here. And so that's what you get with Caden Petrie, who's a younger brother of Colson, but they're both cut from the same cloth. Now, you talk about the young defenseman. So his experience has been in the States, coming up to play for the Brantford Titans in the GOJHL. So that's a junior B level. It's a good league. It's the official feeder league of the OHL now. But it takes a while. And you can imagine when we see players come from, say, the Powassan Voodoos and step into the battalion lineup, it takes a while for them to make an impact. So I think the best way to frame the development of this young man, he's 17, he's a future player for this team. He's not a this year player, although he might get some limited action. But he has to learn the OHL game, and he's getting a lot of tutoring from Bill Holder, who is probably the best person for him to learn from. I think he's in a good spot in this city. Now you talk about 8 defensemen and sort of like the numbers game there. That's OHL hockey. It's always a numbers game. And so the best 6 defensemen are going to play, and the other guys are going to practice their buns off in practice to prove that they deserve a spot on Thursday night in the roster.
I noticed in the practice today, Bill Holder, you're right, he was working with Billy Holder, and, Bill Holder's, he's a big guy too, and so I think that's part of it too, but he was working on offensive skills, moving the puck in your own zone, so he was, and I understood this last week too, working very hard in practice, so they're being patient, and they obviously feel there's a big upside to acquiring this player, and I think we're going to see that as the season moves along.
All right, always interesting to see the roster moves that the battalion make and how it fits within the club, and we'll have to get
Matt,
the
just
captains.
Want to say, the other piece of the calculation about Iggy Pazzi is it's very, very rare in the league. I think I remember 1 or 2 times where a European player is an OA player for you in the next year, and so you would just lose Iggy Pazzi potentially because it's rare to have an Euro and a 20-year-old player taking up the same spot.
And to get something of value back for them too, right? Usually it's kind of just a roster dump, or you're giving that player an opportunity to try and go win something elsewhere. That wasn't, not that can't be the case for Pazzi, but the fact they got Petrie back in a deal that has those kind of configurations behind them, I think is a real nice piece of work by GM John Winstanley and President Adam Dennis. Okay, so we'll figure out how those guys fit in with the locker room dynamic when we come back, because when we come back, we'll get a chance to catch up with the captain of the battalion, Ethan Procyszyn. So don't go away. More coming up on Troops Trio. This is the Sports Illustrated Tickets Battalion Defining Moment of the Week. From big plays on the ice to the fans in the stands who make every game special, Sports Illustrated Tickets gets you closer to the moments that matter with seats to sports, concerts, and theater events around the globe. Visit sitickets.com or download the app today.
Still inside the North Bay zone. Finally, Greer moves up. Here's a chance for Warren. In alone, scores! We're tied at 2. No, Cam Warren.
Sports Illustrated Tickets, the official partner of the North Bay Battalion and the Troops Trio podcast. And welcome back to Troops Trio. We want to thank Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Clubhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight. Make sure you check out the Battalion's social media channels to find out all the latest with Troops Trio. And don't forget, you can send your comments and questions to us at troopstrio@battalionhockey.com. All right, it's time for our guest segment, and we are joined by none other than the captain of the North Bay Battalion. It's Ethan Procyszyn. Ethan, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Ethan, this is, I think you're our first ever two-time guest on the show, right? We got a chance to catch up with you and the other leaders in the locker room, and let's start right there talking about leadership in the locker room. The dynamic has changed just a little bit. Longtime battalion teammate Iggy Pazzi moving on, welcoming in a new guy, Caden Petrie, and right away in his first couple of games, he has been able to help you guys pick up a couple wins. Tell us about both sides of that, losing a guy that's been around for a while, but then welcoming in a guy of his stature.
Yeah, I mean, Iggy was here for a long time. He's very close to a lot of us on the team, but it was sad to see him go. But for Petrie, I mean, I've played against him for years now, back in minor hockey, so it was awesome to see him come and kind of see how he stepped in right away. Just big weekend for him as well, so it was very exciting for him.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think that because, you know, you and him play similar games in terms of 200 feet, very physical, you know, work hard, get the puck out of the corners to score goals and just have that sort of playoff mentality for 68 games in addition to the playoffs. And to have a guy like that who fits in seamlessly, is that one of the reasons you think they acquired him, because it just gives you a little more depth in that style?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's a guy who can help us go very far in the playoffs, and I think he plays the right game that you need to be able to play in the playoffs, so I think that was a huge pickup for us.
Well, Ethan, it's always nice to have a guy. I mean, probably you would say that Petrie's not a fun guy to play against. I mean, what makes him so effective in that role?
Yeah, I'd say he's similar to me. Physical, 200-foot player. He's very skilled. He's fast, so very similar to me. So I think just both of us play a very hard game. So I think that's why it's pretty hard to play against both of us.
It's good to bond with a new player on the road. Like, you have lots of opportunities to get to know him. And how is he gelling with the rest of the room?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy off the ice. We've gelled a lot, trying to just hang out as much as we can before the weekend, and then kind of going through the weekend, just trying to help him out as best as we can. And I think he fit in perfectly. So,
good road trip on the weekend, obviously getting the 4 points. I got to ask you about like a back-to-back. How do you prepare for a back-to-back in terms of because the other team's off the night before, they're at home. You have no bus legs because you're basically in the same area, but at the same point in time, you know, you just played, right? Mm-hmm. So you may be thinking about, you know, how's our energy in the third period? But you guys seem to have more energy throughout that game, especially in the second half of the game, than Kingston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say I think it's advantage for us. I think we're game ready. We played that game Thursday, going into Friday. They haven't played yet, so I think it was game ready type of mentality that we had going into that game that kind of led the way.
I want to ask you just quickly about the last game against Ottawa. Ryan said that, I don't know if we played that clip already, but that Ottawa's throwing things at you that's sort of challenging the battalion on the ice. And so maybe you could expand on that. What is Ottawa throwing out there that's making them so effective this year? But what you saw, the next time you play them, how you guys might take a different approach against them?
Yeah, I think it starts off with being disciplined, and I can take credit for most of that. So kind of being disciplined, try to stay out of the box. I think they scored 3 or 4 power play goals, so it kind of hurt us a little bit. So I think just next time we play them, stay disciplined. It can really help us.
It seems, though, that with Ottawa, not that you don't have a rivalry with these other teams, but, people talk about your big rivals. But Ottawa doesn't come up with fans. But when you guys play, there's a rivalry there. Last year you guys were trying to get in the playoffs together. You got in, they didn't. You met in the playoffs before. Those Eastern Conference final teams. What's the rivalry with Ottawa like?
Yeah, I mean, it's been going on for a little bit now, and I think it's when you're playing out against Ottawa, it's going to be a really good game, hard-fought game. It's going to be tight, so kind of just being prepared going into that game and just make sure you do little things right, and I think that's what can help us later in the future.
I noticed your offense is coming along really nicely, and it's uncomfortable to talk to a player when they're going through a dry spell the way you did, but what changed, or did nothing change and just things start going in for you? And can you sort of wrap your head around what it was, or what changed, or is it still a mystery?
Yeah, I'd say just playing a simple game. I mean, just playing the way I play and just making it simple. And I think just making sure I can control what I control and try to let the things outside of my control to hurt me a bit. So I think that's what I kind of changed, and now it's helping out pretty well. I
think that as a leader and at your next level, there's going to be players who are going through spells. What would you tell them? Your advice to a player who's going through a dry spell, and they might be a player in U12 or U14 who just can't find the back of the net. What does keeping it simple mean on the ice? Yeah, I'd say just try not to change too many things up. I think that can kind of hurt you a bit. Changing too many things can. And kind of ask around, ask your teammates, ask coaches. That was a big one for me, just seeing what they see and trying to implement that into my game.
I saw you when we were interviewing the coach a couple of weeks ago. I guess you were working with someone with the Ducks. And what's the communication like during the season? Okay, you go to training camp. You really get a sense of where the Ducks are and where you are with the Ducks. But during the year, what's the involvement you have with the team in terms of developing your game and what they want you to work towards?
Yeah, so mostly starts, I talked a lot to the player development guys, skating coaches, skills coaches, so they kind of send me clips of my games and video clips to show me things I'm doing well and things I can work on. And then with my skating coach, he usually comes in maybe once every 2 months, and we just work on a few things.
What's the most challenging part of hockey for you? Is there one area that that you sort
doing
of,
it right now?
I mean,
this
you're
is
strong.
The most challenging.
You're strong in so many things. You can score goals. Obviously, you're a very physical player. You're a good leader. Is there one thing that you want to work on more?
I think for me, just being a big guy, I think my skating. I think the NHL level skating is very high tier, so I think that's something. If I can improve, it can really help me later on. Did you have a chance to meet up with Caden Petry's brother when you were at Ducks camp? Did you cross paths with him, Colson? Yeah, I mean, I've been with him the last 2 years, actually. We hung out a lot. A lot of the OHL guys really stuck together a lot in those camps, so it's pretty cool to be able to meet him and then now play with his brother. Yeah, that is kind of a unique opportunity, I would say. 100%, yeah.
Getting to see a guy like that come in the locker room and also chip in, obviously gets him acclimated to the team a little bit better, especially when he has a debut night like he did where he's involved in all 3 goals. First of all, what's it like to have a guy come in and just jump into the offense with you guys, especially in a big win like that right away? What's the conversation like as that game is going on and he's producing in his debut like that?
Yeah, I think it gives our team an energy boost just with him coming in with ease and kind of just implementing his game as quickly as he can and kind of showing that way with 3 points his first game. So I think it just gave us a boost.
And then the second night, the night in Kingston, he scores to open the game, but it's Jack Lisson who picks up the assist on that. How does the bench react when they hear the PA guy goes, it's Petrie from Listen at 5:53.
Yeah, I actually had no clue until after the game, and List was like on the bus, and he was like, "I got an assist on that," and I was like, "What? There's no way."
And that's his second. He got an assist. He played 12 games with you guys last year, and he picked up an assist last year as well. Probably, going for the I don't know what the battalion record is for points by a goaltender, but Listen might be making a charge here.
Well, they always say that offense starts with good defense, right? So
that's right.
I'll tell you, though, when a goalie gets an assist, I got to make sure, because there's a lot of noise and they got buzzers going off after a goal. I got to make sure all that stuff's over, and I pause before I say, and, Jack Listen or Dom DiVincentis or Mike McIver. It's a big deal for a goalie to be announced as helping with the offensive output of a team. So it's always great when a goalie gets an assist.
Absolutely. All right, Ethan, before we let you go here, let's talk about, as you mentioned, that was a big weekend to get those 2 wins against those against the 3 teams in the East Division. How do you guys look to build off that in this week coming up? Just knowing that, you scored a couple of goals, Petrie helped out, Amidovsky had a couple, Cam Warren had a good weekend. It feels like the team is really, really starting to come together now.
Yeah, I think it starts off with practice this week. I mean, we started today with a really good practice, so we just got to keep that going for the rest of the week and hope for a big weekend.
Awesome. All right.
One more question.
Else? Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Saturday afternoon, you're going back to a place where unfortunately your season ended last year. Does that give you added motivation, do you think, going into Brantford on Saturday, considering the start they've had?
I think it does for sure. I mean, all the guys are ready and excited to get in that building to show them what we can do, and it'll be a very exciting game.
Awesome. All right, Ethan, thanks so much. Appreciate having you on. Always a pleasure to chat with you. Ethan Procyszyn, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. We want to thank Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad Beverages, as well as the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight. And it's now we've got our Troops Trivia question, so use the hashtag Troops. I always get this mixed up. Use the hashtag Troops Trivia on the Troops Trio
He's
YouTube
a professional,
page.
Professional.
It's a lot of troops and trivia and trios to say at the same time. All right, here's the trivia question. Who scored last year's teddy bear toss goal? All right, that is the Troops Trivia question. Put your answer in the comments below on the Facebook page, and you can win a battalion prize pack.
We're not allowed to answer, Ranjan, by the way.
You guys are not allowed to answer, no. And neither is that guy sitting in that chair over there.
I don't know the answer anyways. I just hit the goal song. I have no idea who scored it.
Hi, AJ. How you doing?
I'm good, gentlemen. You know what? You guys look so fancy. Do you guys know anything about these sweaters that we got going on here?
Why don't you tell us about it?
These are going to be part of our 10 days of Christmas with Dash. Every day they're going to put something up that we don't even know that they have. And there's sweaters, what do we got there? We got some hockey sticks. We got a whole bunch of stuff behind me here that I'll get to. But yeah, these will be on Dash Auctions. Gerald is going to put up the link. And as this show is live tomorrow when it gets aired, the Dash Auctions will be all ready to go. Ranjan Carey, center.
That's right. And there you go. That's Bobby Greer.
Bobby Greer, number 5. Yes.
And I
Who do you
want
have
to
over
model
there?
it, but they unfortunately only come in adult sizes. But here we go.
Oh, look at that.
That's a goalie cut jersey. It's
Matt McIver.
It goes with that nice haircut you got, by the way. It looks good, buddy.
I heard we were going to get a new set, so...
well, it's all Christmassy now. It looks awesome. Oh, you know what else? These things right here on the Dash Auction. These little mini helmets. These are pretty cool.
Very cool.
That might almost fit you, Ranjan. Almost.
That's number 25. There's no way Bronson Ride's fitting into that helmet.
No way. All right, so how do people get in on this? Just
just go to Dash Auctions every day. All the auctions are 24 hours long. So if you want one of these, you don't have to wait a week or 2 weeks to find out if you win. You could literally bid on this tomorrow, and you'll know by Thursday if you want it or not.
So while you're at work, refreshing the screen.
Exactly, and there'll be 10 days, and there's lots of stuff to actually bid on. So pretty cool stuff too. And like I said, it's stuff we don't even know. Like Owen showed me some of the stuff, and he said there's other stuff, and he has no idea because it's supposed to be a surprise. So, and because it wants to be a collector's item, I guess for some people, there's only limited quantities of them. So
it's like a live advent calendar.
You know what? Never thought of that. Yeah.
Right?
Except you don't have to open it up and fight with it to get it and get a white piece of chocolate that's actually brown. It was left over from the year before. I used to hate those things as a kid.
What else you got going on, AJ? We've got just the one game at Memorial Gardens this week as the Sting come to town.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a while. It seems like November has just been a weird month for us for the home schedule. Sarnia Stinger in town, brand new coach. You will be interviewing him later on in the episode. So that's kind of cool. And a North Bay connection, I understand.
North Bay area connection.
North Bay area connection. I only sound smart because I listened to Sookie earlier, so I'm not pretending I know what I'm talking about. So and it's Nipissing Lakers alumni night. So. Good sponsor. Nipissing's always been a good sponsor the last few years with us. And yeah. And then you know what though? I brought some stuff. Hang on a second.
Bobby, name three battalion who played for the Lakers. This is your on-the-spot trivia. 3 battalion players who played for the Lakers.
Just any 3?
Yeah.
I'll let him do it. He does the Lakers.
Peyton Vecchio and Reese Prue. Reese Prue.
I was going to say Brett Hargrave.
Hargrave did play, yeah.
He did, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
So
Yes, he did, yeah.
There's 4.
Harrison Keynes,
yeah. There's 5.
Cam Peters.
We had a goalie too. There was a goalie. Remember a goalie?
I thought you asked for 3.
I
Not
know.
7.
Moran played. Did he not?
Moran.
Brett Moran played.
That's right.
Yeah. I remember the first year when he played. Was it Niagara he played for?
Does that mean we now?
Yeah, we remember those chants. Oh man, I felt bad for him, but not really.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so we got our annual teddy bear toss coming up. Check this out.
Oh, yeah.
I was only supposed to open up one of them, but we got Brickley the Bear. Check out Brickley the Bear. You can get them at the Brick for $20. Keep them in the bag. Don't open them up like I just did. And then when we score, you throw it on the ice. So easy peasy. And then we got a whole bunch of stuff in the store. If you got Christmas stuff you want to buy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the shopping channel right now.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful.
I was in there the other day, did a little Christmas shopping myself.
I think that's a kid, so I don't know if they'll fit you, Ranjan. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to open this up because we still probably want to sell it, but it looks pretty cool. And if you go into the shop Thursday at the game, good time to go buy some Christmas stuff and suit up the whole family.
Marley, can you zoom in on this? Because that's a battalion logo with a Santa hat on it. So that is a collector's item right there.
I would think so.
It is.
Excellent. When's the
get
teddy
that,
bear
That's
toss
a nice
again?
sweater. Yeah.
What's that? Say that again.
When is the teddy bear toss again?
Teddy bear toss Thursday, December 18th. We take on the Guelph Storm.
So get your bears now.
Go get your
so
bears now. Like I said, they are selling them already at the Brick. And if you know what, you don't technically have to buy from the Brick, but if you do buy from the Brick, they're also, that money is going to the Children's Fund as well, so the Santa Fund. So it's kind of good to actually buy this because it's going to numerous causes.
It doesn't say Happy Holidays. It says
Happy
Hockey Days.
Hockey Days.
And that's clever. I
Yeah.
like that.
Maybe we'll do a little pool that night on the 16th, the episode on the 16th, and we all put our name in on who's going to get the first goal.
And I think on the 16th, I think we're at Moose's Cookhouse, so that will be a good night.
Yeah, involve the fans here, and maybe they get a chance to meet Bob Coles.
Exactly. Bobby Greer, number 5.
Bobby Greer.
All right, AJ, thanks so much for joining us. There was a lot of news off the ice, though, for the North Bay Battalion this week. What are you hearing? We got to hear from Ethan Procyszyn. Loves the new guy, Caden Petrie, fitting in pretty well. Really haven't seen the other new guy yet, Alexander Karmanov. What are you hearing?
Well, don't tell anybody, but I hear there could be rumors he could be playing Thursday. But I never told you that.
Okay, so
because Adam Dennis will kill me. So I don't know if he's really playing.
You just
but
did.
just go buy tickets. Go buy tickets right now, battalionhockey.com. And on Thursday, come to the game. And if he plays, bonus.
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 Excellent. Okay, AJ, thank you so much for
Gentlemen.
joining us.
Good job, AJ.
AJ Jackman, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. We want to thank Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll hear more from Ryan Olahan on the other side of this. So stay tuned. More Troops Trio coming up in just a little bit.
Battalion season ticket holders are now eligible for redemption nights. Can't make a game? Redeem unused tickets for 2 select games throughout the 25-26 season, ensuring no ticket goes to waste. Visit battalionhockey.com for more details.
Fans, Sunday Fun Days are back at the Battalion Kids Club. Join us for our 5th season full of prizes, activities, post-game skates, and so much more fun. Stop by the Kids Club booth located in the North End Concourse to sign up today and receive the first prize of the season.
Fans, visit the Quartermaster retail store to get your hands on this season's merchandise, including foam helmets, foam fingers, fan chains, Chat for Chad hats, and so much more.
All right, welcome back. We want to thank Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight in the same place where you can keep your golf swing in summer form all winter long. And we want to thank the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf for decking us out tonight in these festive Christmas atmosphere. It is December, so Christmas is right around the corner. The holiday season is upon us, and we certainly have the weather to show for it too here in North Bay. I think I spent more time outside shoveling this past weekend than I did doing anything else.
Last night was powder. But
you still have to get it off the driveway.
But it was powder. It changed, though, like halfway through the day. It turned into some wet, heavy stuff.
It sure
if you didn't get at it this morning.
A sure sign of my age is I hire someone to do my driveway now.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
I know, right? All right, so the battalion, we've got a couple games on tap this weekend. They will be playing the Sarnia Sting at home on Thursday, and then they head down to Brantford to take on the Bulldogs. Let's first catch up with the Sarnia Sting. Bob, you had a chance to catch up with Dylan Sika of the Sarnia Sting. There is a local connection to Mr. Sika as well. So, producer Gerald, let's hear that now. I thought you wanted to do the Houlihan one.
I want to introduce producer Gerald.
You go
Come on.
for it.
Dylan Sika, by the way, grew up in Sunridge. Met his future wife in South River. He's gonna have dinner with his folks at the Gardens before the game. So
Does Steve Battanti know this?
Well, I'm sure Steve Battanti has something to do with it. Okay. So that's all going to happen Thursday night. But obviously, it's been a tumultuous year in Sarnia. Coaching change, new coach hired, all that. So we had a chance to visit with Dylan Sika earlier today. Producer Gerald, do your stuff. Okay, Dylan Sika, the general manager of the Sarnia Sting, joining us on Troops Trio. And Dylan, you'll be here Thursday night. Of course, you're from Sunridge, so a little trip down home this week. The area, anyway.
Yeah, local connection. So I'm probably meet my parents and my sister for dinner before the game. It's one of those ones on the calendar that you look forward to. From my perspective, for sure, I get to see some family, and it's an arena that I actually grew up playing in, and get enjoy bringing the team back.
Now, you made the coaching change this year. You brought in Mr. Turcotte. He'll be behind the bench on Thursday night against the Battalion. The decision to hire him and what you've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, not an easy one. This is, in the end, it's junior hockey, and there's livelihoods at stake. But at the end of the day, we've had two, in our opinion, unsuccessful seasons, and needed to see a different change in the way some things were running. And knowing Turk and knowing, where he is and the level of expertise and excellence that he brings, it was, a tough decision, but one that we were excited once we knew we could get him in here and put him around our group. And in the last week, we've seen some real healthy changes and some things that the players are excited to kind of get behind his philosophies. So, you know what, this weekend will be a chance to get away and spend some time closer for the guys, and for him will be huge. That's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of bus travel, but the advantage, I guess, is bonding, right? And you're going to North Bay Thursday, Sudbury Friday, and then the Sioux. What's sort of the approach going into this stretch here for you?
Yeah, I mean, we typically, I don't want to jinx anything, but we've had some pretty decent luck in North Bay the last few years. Coming in the night before, we actually station out of Sudbury, and we'll do our commuting in out of Sudbury for the weekend, and then finish off in Sault Ste. Marie. You know what? We're more worried about our own game, to be honest with you, right now, and playing and getting back to some habits and details. The opponent is a little bit irrelevant. Just based on kind of where we've been, but we've, great progress Sunday against the Flint Firebirds, and maybe we weren't rewarded against the Sioux at home on Friday night, but we really did like our game. We're pretty close up into the last 4 minutes of the game within a goal, and like I said, we'll just focus on ourselves and be a hardworking hockey club, and we'll see what happens.
It was a fun game, the previous game in Sarnia between these two teams. Back and forth. North Bay looked very strong early. You guys made a comeback. North Bay got some power plays late in the game, and then of course Alessandro Diorio, I guess, got the winner in overtime. So talk about him and what you like about his game.
Yeah, Dio's just a talented kid, an unbelievable character. The details and kind of preparation that he puts in, not only to come back from that injury, but just on a day-to-day basis, just such a leader. And excited to have him back. Yeah, he left an impact in that game, and I'd say we needed him based on the way the things were rolling. But talented. Clearly a season that's important for him. We try not to put a whole lot of emphasis on him with an NHL draft and the amount of attention that he's getting, and Beckham Edwards is another one. The two of them, but just such a great kid and an important player for us.
And Thursday night again, the Sting will be here in North Bay at the Bourdelonge Memorial Gardens. What will it take for you guys to leave the building with that little extra smile on your face?
Well, let's hope that happens, but I can tell you we'll have to be disciplined. We do think North Bay, they're an aggressive team, really structured. Ryan Ulan has them playing the right way. He always does. So we'll anticipate not a lot of time and space, but if we stay out of the box and get the goaltending that we saw on Sunday, we like our chances. That's for sure.
Well, Dylan, thanks for this, and safe travels up to the Bay.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome to hear from Dylan Sika of the Sarnia Sting, and they are in town on Thursday to take on the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's the second game. I think one of the big thing is, Sarnia's had a tough year. They're last in their division, but they've beaten the Battalion this year. They beat them the back end of that Michigan road trip was in the third game was in Sarnia. Very entertaining game, went back and forth, and the Sting won in overtime. Alessandro Diorio, very talented player. Chance to see him. I think he's a future star in this league. So, yeah, it should be a fun game on Thursday night.
Excellent.
Yeah, Diorio should be a high, probably a first-round draft pick in the NHL draft, and Beckham Edwards is a good player. They have a new coach, right? And so it's a time of turmoil for them, and I think it's a good opportunity for the Battalion to just jump on them and play that Battalion hockey that we've seen on this road trip in Peterborough and certainly in Kingston, where we're dominating play, dominating possession, and getting good quality shots on goal, and make it a tough start to the northern road trip for Dylan Sika and the Sarnia Sting.
And I think what's been different from November or from October to November for the North Bay Battalion is I don't feel like their style has changed that much. It's just that the puck is going in now. I just feel like the guys are actually getting that puck in which has led to them having a really successful November.
What I think that the style has changed in one respect that I've seen is that on change of possessions, they're actually engaged, sprinting to the puck. So if they lose possession, they're going after it hard to get it back. If they have possession, they're activating D, they're making rushes and driving the net. Not sort of living in the corners where usually the puck dies and the other team gets a hold of it. But they're creating offense. So two things. It's just their urgency to get that puck back and play with the puck.
And I think it's a chance in the schedule to pick up some points on Thursday night. They're going to, it's a tough road trip on the weekend. Brantford, always tough to win there. And Niagara, that's no easy game. So not that they can't win them. They can, obviously. But Sarnia is a team that, expectations are you should get those 2 points. And remember, this is going to be their second of 3 straight weekends on the road. Next week, they're on the road on the weekend, too. So got to take advantage of these home games. They only have 3 left till Christmas.
Yeah, and I think we've kind of overlooked the fact that they are playing Niagara on Sunday, considering we've mostly talked about the Sting game and the Bulldogs game. But yes, that is a divisional battle coming up on Sunday against the Niagara Ice Dogs. And Bob, you had a chance to catch up with head coach Ryan Olahan about the upcoming schedule. So producer Gerald, let's hear that now. Let's hear what head coach Ryan Olahan had to say about another 3 games in 4-day weekend for the North Bay Battalion.
Second in the division, 4th in the conference. Heading into this week, and you got Sarnia at home Thursday, and challenging road trip on the weekend. Brantford, who you haven't played yet. Niagara, always a tough game. So a lot of challenges for you this week. Feel good about the week coming up?
Yeah, you know what? And just looking back, November was a solid month for us. I can't believe the calendar has flipped to December already. It's crazy. And it doesn't, you're right, it doesn't get easier. We're on the road here every weekend until kind of the break when we end on that Thursday night at home. So this is the time of year, you always try to stay in the present, not look too far ahead to that break, take care of business. And yeah, these 2.5 weeks are going to fly by, but you get to start on home ice here. That's kind of nice. Even though we're only gone for the 1 weekend, it seems like you're gone longer when you skip kind of a week at home. So we get that game at home on Thursday, and then we haven't seen Brantford yet. Obviously, top team in the league, and then a division rival in Niagara on Sunday. So looking forward to the challenge. Okay, well, thanks for joining us again, and maybe we'll get you a coffee next week. Someone dropped the ball on that. It'd be nice to have a coffee crisp in my hand, huh? I got to point out, producer Gerald's job on Tuesday morning is to get Coach Uli a coffee crisp. And he had a container, and he assumed, never assume things, he assumed it was water. He assumed it was coffee. It wasn't coffee, it was water. So he didn't get him one. He got one for me. He got a hot chocolate for me. So next time out, we'll make sure Coach Houlihan gets a
producer
coffee
Gerald. Broadcasting 101. Make the coach happy. Keep the coach happy.
Yeah, but keep the guest happy. Guest of honor. Gerald does a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and
he sure does.
He really knits together this pod. He makes us look like we know what we're doing,
which is hard.
But
which we don't.
That was a big baddie on Gerald's part.
We should all bring Gerald a coffee crisp next week, and that's what we need to do. Before we go, your thoughts on what head coach Ryan Olahan had to say about this upcoming week?
Well, I think he's feeling good. He's feeling good about the road trip last week, and I think they're anxious to get back on the ice. And we heard Ethan Procyszyn talk about the importance of these practices this week as they prepare for a tough stretch, and I'm sure there's going to be a little extra motivation Saturday afternoon in Brantford. They eliminated them from the playoffs, losing Game 5 last year, so I'm sure they'll want a little payback maybe on that one. And then the Niagara games are always seem to be high-scoring when they're in St. Catharines, so should be a very interesting week for the troops.
Brantford is they're all in for going to the Memorial Cup and winning the Memorial Cup. They're rated number 1 in the country. And actually, there's 4 OHL teams in the top 10, which is quite neat. Flint just crept into the top 10 nationally, and so that's an interesting thing to watch the Flint Firebirds crack that top 10. But Brantford picking up Jet Luchenko from the Guelph Storm recently, so there's no end to what the Bulldogs are going to do to get out of the OHL and win a Memorial Cup, and we're going to get a good first-hand view from our friend Reed Duthie, the James Duthie. Reed Duthie.
Reed Duthie.
Reed Duthie.
He is related to James Duthie.
Is he? Yeah, okay. So he'll be bringing us that action, and he's always entertaining to listen to.
Yeah, he certainly is. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up today's show. We want to thank Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf. A huge thank you to them for decking us out tonight and letting us take over the place for a little bit tonight. So thank you so much. Make sure you check out the Battalion social media channels to find out where Troops Trio will be next. And you can send your comments and questions to us at troopstrio@battalionhockey.com. We thank Ethan Procyszyn for joining us, as well as Ryan Olahan and Dylan Sika. We want to thank our camera operator, Marley, for filling in tonight. Our show coordinator, Owen, producer, Gerald, our hype man, AJ Jakeman, and executive producer, Steve Batanti. For Bob Coles and Ranjan Rupal, I'm Matthew Sookram, and this has been Troops Trio.
Are we allowed to